shot here. You're hanging out. No, I'm hanging out.
I'm not hanging out.
I meant out of the frame. You're always hanging out. Okay, hello everybody. I hope everybody can see us and hear us okay. Just check my monitor here. Yep, hanging out. Okay, looks like it's good. Okay, well, we've got a lot of people joining us. Lots of bits and pieces to talk about today. But let's see who's here so far. We've got Donna and Catherine, and Suzanne is here, Diana, and everybody's saying happy birthday, Walter.
Thank you very much.
I mean, he's had nothing but like 2 days of solid happy birthdays.
Oh.
Gag me, really. Marjorie is here, Bonita, Lydia's here. Russ is here. Oh, Russ, speaking a new language. Hola. And birthday boy Walter. Yeah, birthday boy my foot. Usually,
thank you very much for all the birthday wishes.
Usually Russ says good morning, even when it's in the afternoon, so this is new. Sue's here. Hi, Sue and Barb. And Deb is here. And let's see. Jean is here. And okay, where did it all go? Why does it do this?
Because you get down to the bottom and it
just jumps like crazy and I can't find anybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so I said Jean, Captain Stitch is here. Carrie is here. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Melissa is here. Tracy is here. Mona is here. Joan is here. Karen B. Stephanie is here. I think I said hello to Janet. Maybe I didn't. Janet's here. Patsy's here. Laurel is here.
Thank you, Stephanie. Happy birthday. Thanks. Happy birthday from all of you.
Awkward Quilter is here. Charlotte is here. Let's see. Kay is here. He deserves all of the happiness. Yeah. Who, I think we should have elections for Walter's fan club president again. I mean, let them fight it out. Put it on video. Hi, Charlotte. Irish Sail Lady 1 is here. From St. Augustine, Florida. Still wearing my shorts and tank tops. Well, rub it in. Just rub it in. Thanks very much.
Well, actually, it's almost warm enough to wear that shorts here.
It's 3 degrees C, so that's
my
pretty
next
warm.
Our next door neighbor was wearing shorts.
Linda is here. Hello, Linda. Everybody's sending their happy birthday wishes to you.
Yeah, wow.
I think we should cut off your leg and see how old you really are. Count the rings. Yeah. They're the same age as I am.
Yeah, now.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome to the late 60s. Well, it has to be. Sweet Granny is here. Hello, Sweet Granny. And Kathy from Saskatchewan is here. We need more of your smiles. Who, Walters?
I don't smile.
He doesn't smile. It's scary when he does. It's probably evil when he does. Something evil is happening. But anyways, so we have a lot of things to talk about today. None of it important. But we'll talk about it anyways, and I'm sure we'll get off on a tangent. Russ says 3C is definitely shorts weather. Yeah, well, when is it not shorts weather for you, Russ? That's your usual uniform, I think. No one would recognize you if you wore long pants. But, okay, so let's start with what I've been working on and Walter's been working on and everything like that. Oh, Calgary's really balmy, 9C.
Wow,
usually it's the other way around from us. But anyways, I got Stephanie's blocks done from the retreat that she and Shannon threw a couple of weeks ago. And here's what it looks like. I decided to make them into a quilt. It's a good size quilt. That's just the top. Haven't quilted it yet. Was playing around the other day with Lucy. And I think I have figured out how I can do custom quilting. And that's going to be my approach next week to this quilt. I want to do different motifs in each of the squares. and something different in the borders and the sashing. And yeah, I'm going to quilt the hell out of this. But anyways, I'm really pleased with myself that I have figured that out. Up to this point in time, I've been doing edge to edge, and it's time to move on with more exciting things, get the full use out of my long arm. So I have named this quilt, and I had a few suggestions on Wednesday, so with Stephanie and Stephen. I didn't use any of them. I came up with my own, and mine is, this is Stephanie's Ninja Stars, because it looks like one of those little death weapons that ninjas throw around in the movies and things like that. And so that's what it is, Stephanie's Ninja Stars. It's a killer quilt. Yeah. And moving on, I now have all the pieces done for the Folk Rabbit table runner. They're not sewn together yet. That's a project for next week as well. Get that all together. This is going to be a gift, but I'm not going to say to who on here. But yeah, so the pieces are done. I just have to sew it together and put the backing on. And then, okay, so last week I said I was playing around with Lucy trying to figure out how to do custom quilting in blocks. So I just took a piece of scrap fabric and batting and backing and just sewed a grid onto it and played around with everything. Well, it was kind of a pretty cloth, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it, so I made it into a couple of bags. And they're lined as well, these bags. Just because I could. That's my whole story, and I'm sticking to it. And that will come up to later. So let's go back over to us and catch up on what people are saying and anybody else who came in. Lots of happy birthdays. Marilyn says, "Hi Marilyn, Walter smiled on your shorts when video showing the fish and chips for his birthday." Yeah, we're going to talk about fish and chips today, actually. We think we've discovered something we did not know. So I guess we know everything now. Talk about football. Let's not, sweet granny. In fact, sweet granny, if you start a conversation about football, I'm just going to kick you out. I'm just joking. Maybe not. Everybody's liking the top. Andy's here. Hi, Andy. More football. Okay, Andy, give it up. Let's see. Everybody seems to like Stephanie's Ninja Stars quilt. And Cheryl is here as well. And Marjorie. Did I say hello to Marjorie before? I may have. Anyways, okay. So, what have you been working on, Walter?
Not much. I worked on my shirt last week, and then I've been meaning to sew my quilt together.
Yeah, you've been
after I made that mistake.
Oops.
And I was going to do it today, but then you decided you wanted to go out. So
well, okay, we went out because we were looking for a new thing to put on our coffee table upstairs because
you broke it.
It was fragile to start with. They shouldn't make them that cheap.
Well,
we had to
grab it from the top.
Oh, I didn't grab it from the top. I had it underneath the table for the Christmas decorations that were on there.
And then I heard it go smash.
And then when I was pulling it out from underneath that, just the top of it hit one of the legs. It was not even a big, like I was being gentle with it because
you're not gentle with anything.
Why don't you just eat my shorts and gag? So anyways, sort of got a piece knocked out of it. So, and of course, wouldn't you know, Walter absolutely loves that vase. It didn't cost us much.
No, I bought it. It was a kind of a unique vase, and now it's hard to find it.
Well, it's very unique now because it's got a chewy out of it, too. So we might be able to, if we can find the third piece. I'm not sure where that is.
Maybe it went under the couch.
Well, maybe it did. I don't know. It's times like this when you need a cat, so they can sweep it out from under you. But maybe we can glue it together. But we got a couple of other things we decided. We went to Home Sense to look at their crap. And it is crap. But basically,
we don't have a lot of shops here that sell
that kind of
decorative type things.
It's crap.
For your house. So we go to the places that we know that sell them, but there isn't a whole lot. of choice. We
No.
have to go to the States for that.
Yeah, really. So we saw nothing in HomeSense, and so we decided to go over to Yisk. Yisk had nothing. And then we decided to go to Value Village. Yes.
And they don't have anything either.
Well, we went to Value Village out of curiosity because I pulled another Lucy. Apparently, when you remember when I was cleaning out all those cupboards and everything, and I had everything laid out on the kitchen table that I was getting rid of, right? And I said to Walter, "Do you see anything on this table that you think we should not get rid of?" He did pull a couple of things up, but one thing he didn't pick up was what I thought. I didn't realize he even used it. It looked to me like a small acrylic pepper mill. Apparently, that's not what it was. It was a nutmeg grater. And Walter absolutely loved that nut grater. So I go on to the Amazon. I see another one, not the same one, but I thought, well, this will do.
Actually, they have one that's just like the one you threw out. But it's $80.
Yeah, well, I'm not paying that for like. How many times do we grate fresh nutmeg?
I use it regularly.
In what?
In spinach and then a few other things.
Well, you don't make spinach like my mother used to.
No, that's for sure.
It's called boil the shit out of it and slap it on the plate, and that's the way I like it. But anyways, it went to the Goodwill. The other ironic part about this, too, was he packed the boxes up.
I didn't see it.
Uh-huh. So who's the Lucy here? I mean, it's one thing I thought it was junk, and you had two chances to say that you didn't want to get rid of it, and you blew it both times.
Yeah, well.
Anyways, nutmeg graters are not like this. The windy thing on them are not easy to find. We have found out, at least where we were
And they're
looking.
expensive.
So we went over to Value Village, one, to see if we could find a new thing to replace the vase that was sitting on the coffee table, and out of curiosity, see if that nut grater was there and how much they'd be charged for it, but we didn't find it. So we don't know. Did someone buy it? Did it get out on the shelf? Is it still in a box in their back room? Or they also have a tendency to pack things up and ship them to their other stores too, so who knows. With that, it would have been ironic if we saw it and bought it back.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows. But it was precious to Walter. Great sentimental value, no doubt. Right. Anyway, so we're on the hunt for a decent nutmeg grater. Whatever. So yeah, and we'll see about the vase thing. We're still hunting for that. Although we got several things here that we were talking about that we could just move around and would probably fit there as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great big rooster that could sit there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice rooster. It sits down here where no one sees it. We could put it up there. And of course, you know what I'm going to say next. Because everybody should have a large...
It'll match a cookie jar.
Well, everybody should have a big cock in their living room. So it'll match the cookie jar. Don't go into the cookie jar. The rude cookie jar. Yeah, it's not really. But that's a story for another day. So, a few people come in here. Diana Mills says, maybe an antique shop would have something you would like. Yeah, but I don't spend a lot of money.
The one we had was modern. It was just an acrylic one.
Well, I don't know. Are we talking about the nutmeg grater, or are we
grater,
or are we talking about the
vase?
Yeah,
maybe vase, maybe an antique shop. Yeah, if we can find one. Actually, there's that one, the barn here, but they never had anything too exciting.
No, they didn't have that much up there. Well, at the time we were just looking around.
I mean, the pottery that we had that broke was actually a modern piece, so wasn't very antique.
Yeah, antique wouldn't really fit in the living room because it's, well, what style do we have? Eclectic, I guess you might say. I don't know. Anyways, we'll find something. It's not the end of the world. It's just that Walters always gets so precious about things.
Yeah, well, I can't around here.
Give me a break. Really? Like, screw you. Okay, so what else you been working on? Australia.
Yeah, I'm still booking hotels. I was still trying to figure. Actually, it's not so much that I don't know where to stay. It's more like, what day are we staying there? So,
but you keep changing it. You keep going, well, I think we will do this and that and the other thing.
I was trying to figure out how many days I'm going to stay in Brisbane. So I had 4. Now I think I'm going to go for the 5. And my hang up was, are we going to stay 4 or are we going to stay 5? So now I think we're going to stay 5. So I have to, I'll book I'll change the hotel and I'll continue on. I know where else we want to go. It's just that that was my hang up right now.
Okay. Whatever. I'm along for the ride. Yeah, whatever we do is fine. Okay. So, now, on a more of a sad note, and some of you may know of this, I've had several of you send me emails with links to this, but Marnay, I interviewed her back close to a year ago, I think. And she is the quilter. She was born with only one arm, and she does beautiful work, and she runs a business. Her and her husband, I can't think of her husband's name right now. Lovely couple. They had a disaster. Their house burnt to the ground. There is a video, and I've linked it down in the show notes for you. It's called Tilda Tractor Quilt Update. And they're standing upon the rubble of their home. It was complete to the ground, the whole bit. They have started a GoFundMe. They're trying, because they're going to rebuild. And so I went onto the GoFundMe. I did donate, not much. I donated a little bit to it, but every little bit helps. But I'm not saying you go and donate to them. But one thing you can do that'll cost you absolutely nothing and will help them out is, if you've never subscribed to their channel, which is, now I can't think of what they call it. It's something Country Farm House, something like that. But if you go to the link below, you'll find it. And that will help them out because they'll get some revenue from YouTube. You know, they're still going to make videos. They've already got an arrangement where she's going to continue doing her quilting and that as they rebuild and everything like that. Very sad. I mean, she had a long arm. She had several sewing machines as well. All of that has been lost, and she lost a pet as well in the fire. Never said how the fire started, how that all happened, but it was pretty severe. Burned her right to the ground. So
it's Marnie's Country Farmhouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Marnie's Country Farmhouse. So check that out. You know, with it. If you feel inclined to, you know, give a little something to GoFundMe, I'm sure they would appreciate it. But as I said, you can support them just by subscribing to their channel as well. So let's see. Jean E is here. Hi, Jean E. And you can see Nightbot is putting up a few little announcements as well. Jim. Yeah, Barb says her husband is Jim. Oh, that's right. I think she lost her arm. That's right. She wasn't born without it. She lost her arm in a farming accident, I think when she was about 3 years old. I think it got caught in one of the big farming machines. Her father's driving it, which, you know, but I mean, she's been able to do what she does, you know, which is amazing. And in fact, she has a video, I think, where she talks a little bit about the whole thing that happened to her arm and how she manages to cut fabric, sew, everything like that, you know, that we take for granted using 2 hands. So, oops, get that out of the way. So yeah, it was a really great interview. You might want to check the interview if you've never seen it. Just go to the playlist, the Idiot Quilter Presents, and it's in there somewhere. You'll find it. And it's worth a watch because they're both in. Jim was on with her when I interviewed them. It was a couple interview. Let's see. Charlotte saw the video this morning. Jenny's here. And Helly. I think she meant hello. But it came out Helly. And just catching up here. Yes, Catherine, she has great adaptive equipment for everything she does. It's true. Oh, well, thanks, Deb. Yeah, it was a good interview. They were very nice people. So, yeah. Okay, so let's get off sad stuff here. Just some announcements. So with Stephanie and Steven, as usual, Wednesday, 9 a.m., you know the drill. For the guys out there, Russ, that Men's Sew Day next Sunday, February the 4th, starting at 8 a.m. The link is in the show notes. And of course, any of the men that are on my mailing list for the Men's Sew Day, you will be getting an invitation to that via email. So let's turn our attention to the 10,000 bash because I'm going to be a busy boy next week. February the 1st, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Registration opens. It's on a first come, first served basis, and I probably will lose most of my hair that day. Actually, I'm getting a haircut that day too. I don't know how this is going to work, but I have a feeling I'm going to have my email box is going to be flooded. I'm going to do it, as you know, in order as they come in. And once I fill up 96 spots, then that's it. Okay? For those of you that do end up registered for it, I will send out to you almost as soon as I get you listed. I will send you an email that just goes over a few things about the day. That's important that you read it. And it will have 2 links in there. There'll be one link to my pattern for When the Stars Collide quilt, and the other link will be for the actual Zoom for the event that day. And there's information in there too about prizes, about in and out privileges, there aren't any, and everything like that. Now, for any of you that don't get in, okay, I will send you an email, telling you sorry you're not in, but you can try after 9 o'clock on February the 10th, the actual day of the bash. I'm giving people a chance to get in by 9 o'clock if they're registered. If you don't get in by 9 o'clock and you're registered, then I'm going to open up the spot. And so if there's people in the waiting room who were not registered, I will just go in the order that they came in and let them in. Now, if there's a problem for you when you're registered, and this is in the note that I will send to you, like some of you live out west, right? And so out west it's 3 hours difference. So 9 o'clock in the morning, I mean it starts at 8, but 9 o'clock in the morning would be 6 o'clock Western time, Pacific time. Okay, and I realize you may not want to get up that early, but if you send me an email after I've confirmed your registration and saying, look, I'm coming, but I won't be able to get there until 9:30, 10 o'clock your time or whatever, I will hold your spot for you. But if you don't send me anything like that, then if you're not there by 9 o'clock Eastern time, your spot goes up for grabs. Sorry, but it's only thing I can do because I'm anticipating I'm going to fill up really quickly with it. Ideally, I'd like to have you all there, but that's not going to happen with the technology. So, February the 1st, this coming Thursday, 9 a.m. If you send me an email before 9 a.m. my time, and if you're not sure what that is in your time, Google it. I will ignore your email. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep things as fair as I can. And it's a difficult circumstance, and I'm sure you can understand that. Okay, so that's coming up. I don't think there's anything else I want to say about that. Anything here?
Guys Craft 2.
Hi Guys Craft 2. I don't know if you were on here when I mentioned Men's Sewing Day on February the 4th. If you guys are interested in that, then send me an email and I'll put you on the mailing list and you'll get the Zoom link. It's a Zoom. It's not a YouTube live. Okay, so AccuQuilt update. Picked it up. It's all fixed. It's running smoothly. It's great. I'm happy about it. Zach really looked after me with it, and they always do. Quilter Quilting are absolutely wonderful in their customer service. I can't say too much about it because they're great. I bought another die when I was over there as well. And actually, I'm working on cutting pieces. I was doing that today for a quilt from the Art East Quilt Company that I want to do. And I think this will be the last Art East Quilt Company quilt I'm going to do. Not because I dislike their design. I hate the little pieces. And this is where the AccuQuilt has come in really handy. Like 288 1.5 inch squares, 160 something else, 190 something else for this quilt. Cutting drives you mad with it. So the AccuQuilt is really a godsend for something like that, and I'm using it to its full advantage. But anyways, it's working and it's fine, and now I have 2 machines. So there you go. Oh, Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda.
Yeah. Thanks for the birthday wish.
Yep, send money. Okay, so I guess we've already talked about Australia. Well, you now know as much as I do. He has not informed me about a lot of things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
I just book it.
He just books
I said,
it.
do you care where we're going?
Which really means I don't care if you care. I learned that a long time ago. I just go, yeah, whatever. It's fine.
As Stephanie said, you must be working on a tartan plaid. Lots of pieces.
Yep, I am, Stephanie. I still haven't got all the pieces cut out yet with it. So, yeah, I'll get onto that later out in the week. So, guess what I'm getting ready for? Tuesday.
Oh.
Yep, it's a bit of a shitty topic. I get to have a colonoscopy on Tuesday. Yay! Which means tomorrow I can't eat. I'm just taking the stuff so that, it'll all turn me inside out. Scrape me down. Walter says, we went out and picked up a few groceries today too. He says, oh, maybe we should get some Jell-O. Of course, you can't have red, okay, or blue. But you have green Jell-O. And maybe some Gatorade. I wasn't planning on, I was just going to drink water. Because to say you can have water. They say you can have clear liquids, but I was just going to stick to water. But apparently, so I got clear Gatorade. I'm not a fan of Gatorade. I haven't had it in years.
It's not as bad as it used to be.
So I don't know. I got Glacier Cherry, but it's clear. So we'll see what that's all about. So I can't eat anything all day tomorrow. And my colonoscopy is scheduled at 12:45 in the afternoon on Tuesday. So basically, I won't be eating anything for a good day and a half. I should lose weight. I don't know with it. Walter will be sucking back on things. I'm going, does it taste good? Oh, where's that Jell-O? Where's that Jell-O? So, well, there's always room for Jell-O, isn't there? But, yeah, Barb, the colon clean out. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm not looking forward to this thing. But I suppose, well, I know you're supposed to do this regular basis when you get up there in age because, it's great for, making sure if you have colon cancer, the early signs of it and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if I trust the medical community on any of these things they tell us because it seems that we keep being told we need this, that, and everything, and it keeps increasing all the time. And they scare us with the C word all the time. And yes, I know, better, an ounce of prevention and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But, think about it. Since COVID, there seems now to have been shots for everything. And now the latest one is measles. Measles is on the rise again. Now, I had them as a kid, but I don't know. How long does your immunity? Does it last for life? I don't know. So the next thing we're going to hear about is we're all going to need measles shots. So we need COVID boosters, pneumonia, RSV, flu shot, and next thing is going to be measles. I'm beginning to think that maybe the pharmaceutical companies have too much power in what's going on here. I don't know. They scare us, though. They scare us to death. Oh, if you don't do this, you're going to end up in, dead or whatever.
Well, you will eventually.
Well, I know. But yeah, I don't know about any of this. But anyways, I'm having the colonoscopy. As long as I'm knocked out, I'm fine. I don't want to not be knocked out. Give me some good drugs. Actually, the drugs I had the last time I had it, they were damn good. Uh, I was completely out. Woke up, juice box, 2 cookies. Did they give you anything when you woke
can't
up?
remember if they gave me.
Well, I'm surprised you remember anything because when they dragged you out on the wheelchair in the car, you were like Mr. Loopy. I could have put a little party hat on you and drawn something on your forehead.
Yeah, we
with
have
a magic
shingle
marker.
shots too. So.
Oh yes, we have that too. Yeah.
Or Steve had shingles at one point in time.
I did years and years ago. I had shingles, but that was before they had a shot.
Drink light beer or ale, probably. No, I don't think you. Well, no, I think you could.
Well, I'm not.
No, you probably get kind of drunk.
Yeah, really. Well, you're also going to have.
I think it said
drugs
that
in your
you're not
system.
supposed to have any alcohol.
I think so. Yeah.
Because if they nick you, you might bleed to death.
It's always so. Oh yeah, and they told me on the phone back when they first contacted me about the colonoscopy and they said, and there is a slight chance, but it's 1 in 2,000 of having a complication. But in the stuff they put in with the drugs on the sheet in there, now they're saying 1 in 500. Odds.
No, I asked her what is it? When I talked to her on the phone, she said that there is a slight, but usually that she says that's only if you got some other problems, like.
Well, I don't have any other problems that I know of. And that's the other thing that scares me is they go up there and, it's like taking your car to the mechanic to have an oil change. And then they come back and they tell you, oh, you've got this problem and this problem. Went in for a colonoscopy and they come back. Oh, and by the way, your liver's dead. I don't know, or something. Like, I don't like hospitals. I do not like doctors at all because they want to hurt me. And I don't like anybody who wants to hurt me. So, yeah, this should be fun. I'm hoping that I'll come home on Tuesday out of it all and I'll go, well, that was a breeze. Of course, I'm not going to get the results that day. I wonder if when they consulted you afterwards with the results, did they just phone you?
No, they booked me an appointment, but it wasn't until about a month afterwards. If you get an appointment like tomorrow, the day after,
yeah, that's not a good sign.
Not a good sign.
No, yeah. Lois is here. Hi, Lois. Looks like darker Bock beer. I like the German Bock beer. I was a complication. I won't have another colonoscopy done. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't really make me feel more confident about it. And this is Guinness, and Walter's having Kilkenny. I have to enjoy it because, well, I won't be having any tomorrow. Not that I usually have anything to drink.
Yeah, it's not Bock beer. It's Irish beer.
Yeah, that's right. Guinness is Irish. And Irish lady says it's like when the dentist tells you your teeth are fine but your gums are shot. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're famous for that. You go in and they go, well, everything's looking okay except, well, there could be your gums are kind of receding and you want to be careful about that. And you think, well, thank you. Do you have anything positive to say? Then don't say it. I pay you good money for this. Just shut up. Here's an extra 10 to keep your mouth shut. Yeah, everything gets you worried anymore. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. I mean, the very first time I ever had a colonoscopy, I had nothing. Like there were no polyps or anything. This is back 15 years ago, probably. So I came home and said to Walter, after they did the consultation afterwards, a few weeks later, and said, I'm a perfect asshole. Were you a perfect asshole?
No, not the last time.
Oh, you had some
and
polyps?
you weren't either.
The second time that I went, last time, no, I wasn't. There was a few. But the guy who did me, he says to me, well, you had a few polyps, but he says, I'm sorry to tell you this. He says, but they were nothing special. Nothing to worry about. They're the most common of all common ones. Well, thank you. Thanks for not getting my hopes up one way or the other. So I would be happy with that if it is this time.
No, I was thinking of the poor doctor he has to look at. Well, first of all, it's a woman doctor's. She has to look at it. And the other thing is that they chose that profession.
Yeah, really, you got to think about it. Why would anybody choose to be?
Well, probably they went down the list and the ass doctor makes most of the amount of money.
Maybe. I don't know. Shitty job. Someone has to do it. I mean, yeah.
Or maybe they didn't think about that part of the job until they ended up in it and thought, oh shit.
Yeah. Well,
oh shit. Oh no shit.
maybe I should just take a Sharpie and write on one cheek, insert here. An arrow. I don't know if she'd get the joke. Cut on dotted line. Whatever that would be. Well, anyways, I'm not looking forward to it, and such is life. Okay, so something else. You may have seen So Chatty this week. We have started a series about everything you want to know about machine embroidery, but we're afraid to ask. We did our first session on Friday where we just basically talked about getting to know your machine, the basic fundamentals of what can you expect on most embroidery machines. And from the comments that we've had on there, people seem to feel that that was really worthwhile. So we're going to continue the series over the next few weeks. And I just thought I'd let you know what's coming up on those. Our next session, we're going to talk about files, patterns, and project types. So we're going to talk about where to buy files, the types of file extensions, because depending on the machine you have to get the right file that'll work with your machine. How to get your files from your computer onto your machine, and setting them up for sewing, and some minor editing that you can do on your machine, like basically sizing if you want something a little bigger or a little smaller.
Now, mind you, we are using a Janome machine.
Yes.
So you would have to learn about
consult your manual. But it'll make
particular machine.
But the idea here is it'll make you aware that you can do, on all embroidery machines, you can do some editing, because I know a lot of people have heard about different digitizing software that you can purchase, and they're very, very, very expensive to do your own designs or to alter existing designs, to customize them. But they're over $1,000 or more for those. We have Artistic Digitizer, which we paid about $1,100 for when we got that. Hardly ever use it.
Yeah.
And it's for the Janome machine, but there are others out there that work with the other machines. And that's something we're going to talk a little bit about in one of the sessions as well, because really, unless you are really gun-ho about getting into...
And you have to be pretty computer literate to be able to handle that software as well.
Yeah, it's got a very steep learning curve. We will not spend a whole session on that. We'll only mention it because even though we've had it for several years, we have used it
I've used it a few times to create a custom design and or alter a design. But unless you really want something special, it's not that easy to do.
No. And so then in session 3, we're going to talk about stabilizers. Stabilizers give everybody a big headache because there's a whole bunch of different ones out there, and it can be very confusing. And we're going to try to simplify that for you, because we have found that we basically only use only 2 stabilizers. And between those 2 stabilizers, you can do pretty much any project.
2 or 3.
Yeah. And we'll talk about brands and where to buy them and tricks for using stabilizer, because don't believe what they tell you on the PDF files that come with a pattern that you have bought online, because they make it sound like, oh, you'll do wonderfully with 1 layer of stabilizer. Not usually, but we'll talk all about that. In session 4, we're going to talk about types of embroidery projects, everything from basic to 3D projects that you can do. Session 5 is going to be we're going to do some embroidery, and we're going to do several different types of projects over a course of, this will be several sessions on this. and take you from the most basic to the more elaborate, which are not more complicated. You just have to know what you're doing, and we're going to show you how to do all
Yeah,
that
like a
kind of
lot
stuff.
of times, like I'll show my bags or whatever, and they have these really large embroidery projects on them, but they're actually just the same as a small embroidery project. The only thing is it has more stitches and more colors.
Yeah. But then there's things like the table runners that you've seen me do, and quilts as well. You can get embroidery files for creating a whole quilt as well. And I'm not talking about quilting the quilt on your embroidery machine, because that is an issue that's full of problems. But basically making your blocks with it. And so we'll take you through the whole gamut of those. And that one, I call it session 5, but it'll probably be session 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D for all that. And then once we've got you up to this level, then we may do a embroidery day where you can come work on a project, not the same project that necessarily that I'll be working on, but it'll be a chance for you during that day that if you're running into a problem, and even if you're not using a Janome machine, that we may be able to troubleshoot to a certain extent for you. Or we might take a small project and have everybody have the same project and do it together. We'll have to wait and see how the rest of these sessions work out for that. So that's up in the air right now for plans with that. What if you don't have an embroidery machine, but you can you still find these sessions helpful? I think so, because you might be sitting there thinking about, well, should I buy one or shouldn't I buy one? And they are expensive. There's no two ways about it. So this might be an opportunity for you to see whether or not something like machine embroidery is your cup of tea through these sessions. And for that matter, even if you want it to come to, when we get to the point when we'll have an embroidery sew day, if you wanted to come and you didn't have an embroidery machine, but you wanted to work on something else, but you wanted to listen in and see what people are doing, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. So we'll see. Just you would know though what we're doing that day is strictly, we'll be focusing our attention on embroidery, on machine embroidery. So yeah, lots of things here. Your comments after each session are definitely welcome. Your questions too. Please, when you ask a question on something like this, give us as much detail. If it's a problem, give us as much detail about what's going on. Don't say, well, I put this in and I got a bird's nest. Well, I want to know what kind of thread you're using, how many stitches in the file, what you're stitching on, what's the stabilizer, size of hoop. I want to know as much information as possible in order for us to, help you with the problem. So don't leave us hanging if there's something like that. So anyways, that is coming up over the next few weeks. This will be kind of a long-term project. There'll be quite a few weeks, and we'll build from one week to the next on each thing. I saw Barb said, back to the colonoscopy, personalized license plate, ass man.
Isn't that from a Seinfeld episode?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Oh, Philippa's here. Hi, Philippa. She loves fish and chips. We're coming to the fish and chips in a moment. Lois says, just think about the restaurant you can go to afterwards.
Actually, technically, you can go to, I think you're supposed to take it easy for 24 hours after you have one.
So we'll go Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. Dana's here. Hi, Dana. Kim is here. Your 10,000 bash, is it on YouTube or Zoom? Well, Kim, you didn't bother to watch the video, did you? Or come in earlier when I was talking about it, or listen to some of my other things. No, it is Zoom. It is not on YouTube, okay? It is a private link. It is not a YouTube live. It will not be recorded, and nobody will ever be able to see what we do that day except the people who are involved with it.
Yeah. I mean, part of a nice thing about the Zooms is that people can come and work and feel comfortable. Like, I mean, some people don't want to be on YouTube, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's why. Somebody did suggest to me, and I think I talked about it last week, they wrote me a fairly thoughtful email about, possibility to consider doing it as a YouTube live and a Zoom. Because, there is a way you can connect in your Zoom into YouTube live. But the reason I'm not going to go there is, one, with the number of people, it's already going to be a bit of a trick to manage all of this. I mean, I'm not that worried about the actual day and when people are there, because I run retreats twice a year on Zoom with the same number of people, with 96, and that works out fine. But if I was to go to YouTube Live, I'm basically dealing with two different systems, and even though they're connected together, there would be a bunch of people in the chat that I can't see, and then there'd be the people in the Zoom. So basically, I'd be dealing with two groups of people, and managing a chat like today, just managing a chat here can be tricky, because comments go by really fast, and you know that. And you're trying to keep up with everything. If I had to do two, even with Walter's help, it's not going to work. Plus, these kind of things, these so days and that, in my way of thinking, are visuals. You need to see the other people. If you want to show something you're working on, or somebody is helping you out with a technique or something, you need the visuals. And if you're just on a chat, you're not going to have that the same ability with it. So, it's a Zoom, it is private, and it's not going to be recorded. Laurel says, have you done a Hoop Sisters quilt? I have not. I have thought about it. They're very, very expensive for the files. And on top of that, you are using your own fabrics and stuff. So it makes for a very expensive quilt with that. So, and of course, for me, it's even more because Hoop Sisters are in the States. So we have the exchange. So no, I have not done a Hoop Sister quilt. However, there are quilts that I have done. You can see them in behind me that come from Embroidery Online, OESD. You can get those, and I have done those. And they're not near as expensive as the Hoop Sisters products. I think the Hoop Sisters see you coming and nail you for it. Plus, I've watched some of the Hoop Sisters videos, and to be honest, I don't really agree with their methodology. I think they make some things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. That's just my experience. Of course, I've not done a Hoop Sister one, so I just know what I've seen on YouTube. Yeah, Tracy, it would be kind of a fun day. A noisy day. We'll have to keep our mics on mute. Well, though, actually, I embroider sometimes on a sew day, and my microphone doesn't pick up the machine, so that's not so bad. Zoom's got a good background noise cancellation feature in it. So, Diana Miller says, love your embroidery sessions. I have a Janome 11,000 SE, and should I say it 15,000?
Well, if it's still working
if it's still working for you, that's great. Mine did not. So, but it saw me coming. If there's a lemon to be had in something, I will buy the lemon. Joy is here. Pam is here. I've always admired from afar the square wall hanging behind you. Is it an embroidery or a piece? No, it is.
Actually, the three things that you see behind us
are all in
between us right now are all in the hoop embroidery projects.
Yeah, and actually, if Walter moves his head over a little bit, the one peeking over, no, go that way. That one peeking there up the stairs is also an embroidered one as well. Those are all in the hoop designs that I've done, and I've done others too. I've done, if you've ever seen the ones of Santa at Christmas time from OESD, like Santa Starry Night kind of thing, you've got different ones.
Plus the one that you showed earlier, the folk art.
The folk art rabbit
table runner, that was also and embroidery in the hoop embroidery.
Yeah, I said that
Yeah.
about it. Yeah. That's actually the ones behind me. Those ones all are in the hoop applique for making the blocks. But the ones, the Santa ones that I've mentioned, which I can't show you one right now because it's in the crawl space, all sealed up for Christmas next year, is all totally thread. And there's 32 tiles in that blocks, and it's all thread. So it took a long, long time to make. But the final result was worth it. And a lot of thread. A lot of thread. Miles and miles of thread. That one that you see right directly behind me, that's a New York Beauty. All done in the hoop.
The one that's on the door.
Yeah, the one that's on the door. The other one with the little house, those are all house doors for different, there's one for every month. And that was a free block of the month embroidery that was put out by Dime, Designs in Machine Embroidery. And, they were horribly written. The files, there were problems with the files, but I persevered. I got through it and got it all together. I just won't buy anything from that company. I'm sorry if you do on a regular basis, and if you have good luck with them, great. But I didn't. I won't buy a thing from them. That was basically the wall hanging from hell on that one. But I like doing those kind of things, but they take a long time. In fact, I have 2 patterns. Well, they're not patterns. They're the files that I bought over a year or so ago for 2 quilts that I have never done yet. They came from OESD as well. I should dig those out and do them. Okay, so let's just see here. I think all of the quilts on the wall were embroidery projects. Yeah, they are, Diana. Ron's here. Hi, Ron. Men's Sew Day next Sunday. Dana says I bought several Hoop Sister quilt patterns years ago in my work in progress embroidery pile. Mozilla says, Deb says, you're going to get your tree skirt done this year, Stephen. Looking forward to seeing the finished result. Oh, who knows? I worked on it again before Christmas this year. It's getting closer to completion, but I'm really not in the mood to do Christmas stuff right now. That's got other things, so who knows? We won't be here for Christmas this year coming either, so we'll be in Georgia again. So I don't know. We'll see. Trace says several great in the hoop designs are available out there. They make us look good. Yeah, they do. And for people who don't know that you've done them as machine embroidery, you can really impress them with that kind of stuff. They are time consuming though. You have to keep that in mind. They take you longer in some cases if you're like doing a small quilt in the hoop, could take you longer than it would take you to do one that's pieced. So, but usually they build in the quilting.
Usually they look really nice.
Oh yeah, they look really great. I mean, that's why that's a Halloween one, the orange one that's over on the side. And it stays up all year round because I figured the amount of time I put into that and everything, it's not going to be hidden away and pulled out for like 1 week in October or something like that. Cheryl says, could you do a session reviewing pattern companies? It would be good for beginners to know what companies have good files and directions. I'm assuming you mean for embroidery. And yes, we will be. That is in one of the sessions. We'll be talking about it. In fact, that will probably be in next week's session, I think. I have it slated. Yeah, where to buy files. So yes, we will be talking about that then. Philip says, I believe you showed the Christmas embroidery wall hanging in a December video. It was spectacular. Yeah, I probably did, Philippa. Guys, I'm very proud of that one. For sure. And it's heavy. Very, very heavy because there's a lot of thread in it, as I said. So anyways, that's what we have planned on So Chatty, to focus our attention on machine embroidery. And we'll still talk about other things on there as well. But, yeah. So, let's talk about Walter's birthday and what he had to eat. Okay, first of all, let's talk about how difficult he is to buy for or to do anything for his birthday for. So I kept saying to him, "What do you want for your birthday? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do for dinner?" I don't
Well,
know.
we usually in the past have gone out for dinner, like to a steakhouse or something like that. I didn't really feel like doing that this year because,
It's well, it's a lot of money, and I mean, we'd go to the keg. You've heard us talk about the keg before. We like the keg. The food is always good. Service is always good. In fact, the service is too
well, the
good.
keg is a chain steakhouse in Canada.
Yeah, and yeah, but we eat very, very fast, as you've heard me say before. We could be in and out of the keg in 20 minutes. And when you're dropping like 100 and some odd bucks on dinner, you kind of want to,
Probably closer than 200 now.
well,
So.
yeah, you want to sort of enjoy it, you know. And they do like the team serving thing, which is very popular in lots of restaurants now. And so they're right there. You finish the salad, there's your main course. Do you want dessert? No, that's great. Is that everything? Thank you. 20 minutes. Okay. We actually go in and order stuff in bits and pieces.
Yeah, like we'll order an appetizer and won't put our main order in until after we finished our appetizer because it stretches it out further
Yeah.
so
I
that
mean,
we
because
have more
it's an
time.
event, you
Yeah.
know? Um, so anyways, he didn't want to go there. I said, well, is there someplace else? Well, the pickings in restaurants in our area are not
Well, we're
fantastic.
picky too,
Well,
so
we are. And, you know, they're either very, very expensive for nothing or they're
or they're
McDonald's.
not fast food. They're like a medium
Yeah.
roadhouse type place that um
Which are,
that's okay food, but not anything spectacular.
well,
So
it's not something you want for a special occasion, put it that way, if you want it to be special. So, no, we didn't go out. And then I asked him, what do you want for your birthday? No, don't get me anything. I hate that. Then he turned around and he said, don't get me a gift certificate. Okay,
yeah, I
fine.
don't like gift certificates because I tend to misplace them, and
Yeah.
I forget that I have them, and then so like I mean last year I think you got me a gift certificate for Ultimate Sewing. It wasn't actually I ended up spending it for a birthday gift for you. I think
Did you buy me something last
I
year?
did. I got you something from Ultimate Sewing.
I
I
don't
think.
remember what you got me.
I don't know.
I don't think you did.
Well, maybe not. Maybe that was the year before.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think you got me anything from Ultimate Sewing last
Oh.
year. You got me nothing.
Year before I got you those variegated threads and stuff
Yes,
like
you
that.
did. Yeah.
And that was because I used my Christmas gift certificate to buy.
Geez, it sounds like what's the name of that author who wrote the Gift of the Magi? Yeah. She buys him a gift because she sold her hair combs or something that he'd given her, and he sold his pocket watch, and so he got her something.
No, yeah,
No, she sold her hair. That was it, and he got her combs
for her hair.
for her hair, and he sold his pocket watch, and she got him a chain for his pocket watch or something like that. Whatever. But I did get Walter a gift. I got him a charging station for his that does his cell phone, his earbuds, and his watch all at the same time. But when you put your iPhone on it and turn it in landscape mode, it becomes like a clock. I have one. I bought mine originally from Temu, and I didn't know if he'd want one or not. But I knew I decided to do this like Tuesday of this past week, and I knew if I ordered the same one from Temu, it would be about 2 weeks before I'd get it. So I went on Amazon, and they had a similar thing. They had actually a lot of them. Of course, it was a little bit more expensive, but holy crap, these things go right up to a couple of $100 if you
Well, if
want
you
them.
buy the Apple official one.
Yeah, well, I didn't. I think I end up paying $50 for it. And anyways, I didn't know if he'd like it or not. I figured, okay, if he doesn't want it, I'll use it as well someplace else. But he was excited. I was
Actually, I had
shocked.
thought about getting one a little while ago, and And actually, I didn't really think about it. I could have said to him, "Get me one of those," but um, I didn't really think about it at the time. I just at the time he asked me, I just go, "I'm not sure what I want." So
No, he said, I don't want anything. I don't want anything.
don't give me
I
anything.
don't want anything. So, yeah, we got that. So then it came down to what we were going to have to eat. So then he decided during the week, he says, how about fish and chips?
We haven't had that for a while.
Hadn't had that for a while. And I said, okay, sure. I don't mind. We can have fish and chips. If that's what you want, then great. We'll do that.
Because it's something special that we don't, I mean, it's not that special. I mean, we'll get it anytime we want. But I just thought we hadn't had it for a while. Something I really like. You're not a big fan of fish, so that's my birthday.
I don't mind fish and chips as long as it is halibut that they use. None of the other fish. I do, because halibut doesn't taste like fish. So that's why, because I don't like fish. But I do like the halibut and fish and chips. Anyways, that's what we had. And we went out during the afternoon. I thought, well, we should go over to the Dutch bakery and get something special. And they have this one thing that we really like. They're called Long Johns. And they're basically an eclair kind of a thing. Well, we got there. They didn't have any.
Yeah, it's because we got there earlier in the afternoon.
Yeah, so. And like this bakery closes at 3 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and it's always busy. But they did have custard slices, which I call Napoleons, because that's what they are. They're Napoleons, but they've got custard
they call
in them.
Meal fleurs.
They've 1,000 layers. Like they're with a puff pastry kind of thing in it, and cream in that, and sort of a glazed, kind of a crunchy hard. It's not crunchy. It's an icing, but it's a frosting. Icing, yeah. It's a hard icing, and they also had Japanese cheesecake slices there too. So we decided to get a couple of each of those. And we still have some of those left. So tonight, before I can't eat anything more, so that was good. So we got the fish and chips. Fish and chips was very good as well. We get it from the same place. It's a place called Halibut House. But here's why I want to talk about this. So someone made a comment about, do they deliver it? And I went, well, that's a strange comment to make. It's fish and chips. There's fish and chip places all around us.
Yeah, I know.
Everywhere.
Like in this area, there's a place right down the road from us that sells fish and chips, and that's a dedicated store. That's what they sell is fish and chips.
So Walter did some,
but I don't really like their chips as much. And when we say chips, they're French fries.
Yeah.
Right. They're fresh cut French fries from potatoes.
Yeah, they're not like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
and they're not potato chips.
So there's one a little further down the road that I like better, and we got them from there. But I looked up when somebody made that comment. I thought, maybe that's not a thing in the United States. So I looked around on the United States, and from what I gathered, that is not a thing in the United States, because in the area that we live in, there's at least 10 or 12 fish and chip shops that just specialize in fish and chips.
Yeah. So, like, this is the menu from the place that we got it from. Now, in our research, in Walter's research, he found an article where a guy talks about fish and chips in England and that kind of stuff.
He's an American that lived in England for many years, and said that basically said, unless you live near the coastal areas in the United States, it's not a big thing. Yes, you can buy fish and chips in restaurants, but they're not actually any dedicated fish and chip shops that actually just specialize in fish and chips.
And what they call fish in the fish and chips oftentimes is what we would call fish sticks.
Yeah, or pre-frozen fish with French fries that are like McDonald's French fries, or frozen French fries or something like that. Whereas we're used to fresh cut French fries and fresh fish that's breaded and deep fried.
Yeah, so we found this very strange. And in this article, the guy was talking about in England, of course, their fish and chips often come with something called mushy peas. And we know what mushy peas are. We've had them. In fact, we have a can of mushy peas that we bought at the Dutch store because they have a British section in there. And we had them, so they weren't that great. But mushy peas are exactly what they say. They're mushy. They're usually canned peas, and they are, I don't know how they've cooked them, but they're very green, and they're kind of greeny brown, and they are mushy, like really mushy. I quite like them. But the best place to get mushy peas is usually in a British pub or over in England or something like that. But then he talked about tartar sauce, didn't he?
Yeah, I know. Like he said, that tartar sauce wasn't. If you get fish and chips in the United States, most British people would probably do a Passover for them in a restaurant, and they wouldn't get mushy peas. You probably wouldn't get what's it, malt vinegar, and you probably wouldn't get tartar sauce with it.
No. So what Americans call fish and chips is not what we call fish and chips. And I guess the comment about do you get it delivered or whatever is we have fish and chip places all over the place. And that serve it the way we've just described it.
In Ontario, we do. And so that's basically a fast food for us. And usually, like the place that we went to has, it's called Halibut House. And we like halibut, so we get halibut. But they also sell cod and haddock as far as their fish is. Halibut's the most expensive fish, so it's a meatier fish than something like cod.
Yeah, I don't like the other type of fish. It has to be halibut. Now, Shannon says, "Hi, Shannon. There's an amazing fish and chips place in Rehoboth, but it's a British pub."
Yeah.
Right. I'm sorry, Americans. I do not trust anything you say about food. Just because you have it in the United States does not mean it's real. Okay? And you will not be able to convince me that Americans know what real fish and chips are. Okay?
Actually, Quote Miller says, after living in Boston area, which of course Boston's a coastal,
it's a coastal town.
And you probably have more authentic, what we would call fish and chips in that area.
Yeah, I don't believe you, Jenny. I don't. You guys tell us all the time, oh, you have this and you have that. When we go in the States and we have what you told us, it's nothing like what we have. Nothing. Like, for example, you have no idea what poutine is, and if anybody offers you poutine in the United States, they don't know what it is. They don't make it right. They think it's like French fries with cheese sauce on it. And let's talk about chips, shall we? The term chips means fresh cut fries from a potato, not processed like McDonald's. You know how they make McDonald's French fries? Go on YouTube, you'll find out. It's extruded from a tube. No,
it's not.
I thought it was.
They actually do cut
I thought they extruded it. I saw a video that showed them
I saw a video too. McDonald's French fries.
Well, whatever. But those are not real French fries either with it. So anyway, it's a different thing.
Yeah, so it's
let's see. Laurel says we have Kiwi style fish and chip here in Hawaii, delicious. And I'm sure it is, but it's not fish and chips.
English I don't know what. Maybe they may have some stuff.
Why do they call it Kiwi style?
Who knows?
Is that after New Zealand?
I know they have fish and chip shops in Australia.
But there's a reason why. You will find fish and chips shops in England, of course. You will find them in Australia, of course. You will even find them in India, of course. And at one point in Hong Kong as well. Why? What do we all have in common with Canada? We're all part of the Commonwealth. We still have British roots. And that's why we have it. Now, you'll say, but Americans, we'll start it with Britain, the whole bit. Yes, but Americans have done everything they possibly could from back when they went to independence and away from Britain to do everything that is not British. Okay? For reasons as we can probably all understand. Whereas here in Canada, in Australia, we have kept our British roots more intact, even though they have no say over us anymore. But so that's why we have these kinds of foods. It is different. It is different. And the reason that there's a problem when American restaurants come to Canada and try to open up here, they don't always do very well. when they first initially open up, all of us go to it because it's something new. But then it dies off after a few months or so, and they usually go out of business as well. Example, Olive Garden. Not Italian. Okay. Canadians are picky. We are very picky, and our tastes are very different. But American corporations in the food business don't understand that. They need to do more research about how we eat. Because although it's not drastically different from the way Americans eat, it is still different.
Oh yeah, Laurel Chambers. It says the kiwi style fish and chip. It's delicious, but she's from Australia.
Oh well, there you go. She knows. Yeah, she knows about that.
Yeah. So anyway,
Russ says, after living in the Boston area, I've been way too disappointed in fish and chips down here in Georgia. Yeah, again, but Boston is on the coast, so I would suspect they might have something, and they have very strong residue of British in them too. Or catfish about any place in the South or along Mississippi River.
I've had the catfish when we were in New Orleans, and it's okay, but it's not.
But it's not fish and chips. It's not British. Okay, maybe I should qualify this by saying it is not British style fish and chips. That might be a better way to put it. Okay, as I'm sure there are variations on all of this kind of stuff. Diana says a lot of fast food places in the U.S. now deliver their meals. Maybe that's what the question was about.
No, it wasn't. It was basically that they were trying to figure out where we would get fish and chips, because we actually have fish and chip shops here.
Jenny says, okay.
And that's all they sell. Pretty much all they sell is fish and chips, unless you get a salad with your chips.
Yeah. Jenny says, okay, is fish and chips a deep fried piece of fish with French fries in Canada?
With fresh cut French fries.
Fresh cut French fries served with tartar sauce and malt vinegar. Yes, it is deep fried. It is usually battered in something.
Fresh fish, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
But I don't think you're going to qualify Captain D and Long
John's. Oh, they're not real. No, that have real chips and real fish. My mom was 16 when she came from there. She made real fish. No, I'm sorry, Captain D's and Long John's. They do not have real fish and chips. How do we know this? Because Long John's was here in Canada for a while, way back years ago, and so was what's that one?
H Salt.
H Salt fish and chips. It was not British style fish and chips. They like to tell you that. And guess what? Neither one of those two corporations made it in Canada because it was different. Catfish is a southern delicacy, Patsy says, when cooked properly. Yeah,
I don't know if fish and chip shops would make it in the U.S. because your tastes are very different too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there are a lot of things that I think that it just doesn't work in either of our countries. So,
yes, Barb, you're right about the chips. We have seen Americans in England go into Marks and Spencer's or grocery store, and they turn around into a restaurant and they're expecting French fries when they order chips. Or no, sorry, they're expecting potato chips when they order chips, because the British, of course, call them chips. What we call potato chips in a bag, they call crisps. So, yeah, it's a bit of a terminology difference. But, yeah.
Yeah, Barb Olson. When I was a kid, you used to get fish and chips wrapped in newspaper.
Yep.
In fact, the place that we went to, Halibut House, up until recently, used to wrap their stuff in newspaper, and the reason they don't anymore is because we don't get newspapers anymore.
Yeah. So here I'll show you what the menu looks like from the place that we ordered this from. So here it is. So you see what they have. They have a selection. You can have halibut, haddock, cod. Different. They do have grilled halibut. They have shrimp. They have Atlantic salmon, black tiger shrimp, scallops. And they also have chicken wings and chicken fingers and chicken souvlaki. So you can have, they have other things at this particular outlet, but they primarily are fish and chips. If you're going there, that's probably what you're going to have. And here's the other side of it as well. They have a fish taco as well. Ooh. And they actually have poutine as well there. So they're trying to cater to a wide variety, but principally their fish and chips are what they sell the most of. So to show you what this looks like, I did a little video yesterday when we got it out of the bag, and I'm going to, hopefully this will work. We'll see if this will play.
Okay, so this is the birthday boy. It's Walter's birthday, and he wanted fish and chips. And we come to understand that Americans don't really understand the concept of fish and chips. Fish and chips is a British thing, and here it is. Someone asked if we have it delivered. No, we just go pick it up because we have lots of fish and chip places like the Halibut House. But here you go. This is fish. It is halibut. It's not cod, although sometimes you can have cod if you wish. I don't like cod. And these are chips.
Okay, this is not working.
French fries. But these are what chips really are. Not potato chips.
They're fresh cut French fries.
They're fresh cut. And of course, we're having a little champagne with it too. And it comes with malt vinegar.
Okay, I don't know
and
why
tartar
that's not working.
sauce.
And I can't get out of it now.
Why is my tartar sauce with your fish and chips? Okay. So that's what we're having for Walter's birthday.
Okay, well, you didn't see that.
And now you don't know how to get out of it.
There, I got out of it. I don't know why that didn't work. It should have worked. But anyways, such is life. That won't let me close that out. So sorry about that. You didn't get a chance to see that. But anyways, maybe I'll put it up on my blog tomorrow.
So we're done now.
What?
Nothing.
You're being lippy. Okay, so just backing up. Diana says you would love southern fried catfish and French fries, Stephen. Fresh catfish is comparable to cod. I don't like flounder. I don't like fish. Period.
Actually, Steve doesn't like cod either. I'll eat fish and chips made out of cod, but Steve doesn't like cod. And actually, catfish sort of tastes like cod to me.
I don't like any fish except halibut in fish and chips. I'm sorry.
I don't think that catfish is comparable to flounder. I think it's more comparable to cod.
I don't know. I've never had flounder. Never will. So, Julie says, have you guys ever been to a Scandinavian style fish boil? It's supposed to be Great Lakes tradition. No, and
we don't. Actually, generally, we don't like fish.
No, so
I like fish and chips. But I don't like any other kind of fish.
And until you just mentioned this, I have never heard that this is a Great Lakes tradition.
No, I've never heard that either.
So that's news to us. Never heard that one.
Not in Canada.
Yeah, maybe in Michigan or something like that. I don't know. Russ says all this seafood talks caused me to crave a lobster roll. I won't be back in Maine for another year and a half. Now, I do like lobster. We do like lobster.
Yeah.
Okay, and we will eat shrimp as well. As long as I'm always iffy about ordering shrimp if I'm in a restaurant with something, you know, like a shrimp and pasta kind of dish, because I'm always afraid the shrimp might be a little fishy, and if that is, that turns me off. But generally speaking,
it can't be fishy.
No, but
cod will tend to be a little bit fishy at times.
Yeah, no. I don't know. I think it comes from the fact that when I was a kid, my parents liked fish, and we would have fish once a week, and my mother would make me eat it. And the fish that we were having usually was fish sticks, and those are just gross on their own anyways, whether you like fish or not. And, you know,
I'm not a big fish fan either. My parents were. Being Dutch, they had lots of different kinds of fish when I grew up. But I never was really that keen on it. And there are certain things that I will eat more than Steve will eat. I tend to have less of a aversion to it.
You have less of a refined palate like me. Yeah, that would be it. There was one thing. Where was it? Was it in Ireland? We went to a small little fishing place, and we ate in the restaurant.
Yeah, we went to a little place in Ireland. It was on a coastal town, and where they caught fresh fish. And they went to a fish place, and they had their specialty was fish and chips using cod. And Steve says, "Oh, I'm not going to get that," and he got the hamburger instead.
Yeah, I should have got that.
Because I got the cod. The cod was really good.
Yeah, I tried a little piece of his, and actually, I probably could have eaten it to a point. It still was a little. I'm very sensitive to fishy taste. Just something about it, And I've always had people tell me too, "Oh, that's because you've never had the fish done right." I have tried to like fish. We tried tilapia and different things, and nope, never liked it. And then I worked at one school that we had a culinary arts section, and oftentimes what the kids were learning how to make that day would be served for lunch, and the teachers could buy it at a ridiculously low price. So I would often buy my lunch there because it was always good. And the guy who was the teacher for that, he was an excellent chef. I asked him what's on the menu today. And he says, "Oh, we're having poached salmon." I says, "Oh, you won't see me." I said, "Don't like fish." He says, "Oh, you'll love this." I says, "No, I've had salmon before. I've had fish cooked in." He says, "I guarantee you absolutely love this." So I trusted him. I tried it. And you want to know something? I did. It was absolutely delicious. And I have never, ever had it since. Because, no. Getting salmon in a restaurant, and if you don't like it, that's a lot of money to spend on something you can't eat. And I trusted him with it, and I've never had any sense, and probably never will again with it. So that's as close as I ever came to liking fish.
There is a Red Lobster in our town.
Oh God, no! Oh God, Red Lobster! Oh, kill me now! First of all, heart attack on a plate. Oh look, 20 shrimp coated in garlic butter, served with those lovely biscuits that are dripping in butter and oil.
Biscuits are not big in Canada here either.
Oh, no.
They do have Red Lobster or Popeyes or whatever, but
oh God, Red Lobster? No, just gross me out the door. Deb says, Colleen says, "I hope you both enjoyed your lovely meal with champagne." Yes, we did actually, Colleen.
Yeah.
Don't know why I couldn't play that video, but anyways, we'll see. I may put it up tomorrow on my vlog. Deb says, "I'm fussy with halibut and fries after hubby and some catch fresh halibut from Pacific Ocean off west coast of BC. Has to be only halibut, Actually, years ago, we were at something that Walter's older sister, who's passed on now, good. The guy she was seeing at the time, they had a big party, and he did a halibut steaks or something on the barbecue in foil and stuff, and he had them. Actually, that was really good.
They got it from a fresh fish dealer or whatever in our area, where they fly it out from the East Coast. So
I do remember, though, that was really good, but never had that like that again either with it. So, yeah. Drew says, "Fish sticks are like cat food with breading." Yeah, I agree. Actually, the catfish has to be farm raised before I think it tastes good. I suppose that maybe.
Oh yeah, because of what their bottom feeders.
Oh yeah, they eat a lot of crap, don't they?
Yeah.
Now Barb says she doesn't eat fish of any kind, but she loves the chips. Yep.
Yeah, and what else we have a lot of here in our area is chip trucks.
Yes. Now, do you guys have chip trucks in the States? Because we haven't seen any, but we might not have been in there.
French fry trucks.
Yes. Do you have that in the States? Because that's something we didn't really notice. Of course, mind you,
I never really looked for fish and chip shops, but I never really noticed that you have a lot of mobile. I mean, I know they have them in like big areas like San Francisco or something. But we all have trucks all over the place here that sell fresh French fries.
Yeah.
They call them chip trucks, though.
Yeah, they call them chip trucks. Lois says, "Hubby didn't eat fish and love it, so we always went to Red Lobster that had both." Okay. Russ says, "Fishy taste is when it's not super fresh." Yes, I've heard that. which is why I love seafood in Boston. Everything was caught that morning. Yes, that's true. Everybody says if it tastes fishy or smells fishy, it's not fresh. Yeah, seafood is usually a hit or miss food for most people, and some people are extremely allergic to it as well. Seafood, like shellfish and stuff like that, like Stephanie is.
Yeah, chip trucks just sell chips.
Yeah, Judy says we have lots of food trucks. They tend to be ethnic food, especially Mexican. But do you have chip trucks? And Patsy says never heard of chip trucks. There are food trucks, but not especially. Maybe at the state fair. Yeah, never heard of a chip truck. Yeah.
Chip trucks that just serve French fries, fresh cut French fries.
Yeah, we have them all over the place, especially in the warmer weather.
There's one down by where the Ultimate Sewing is, on the corner. They're always lined up.
Oh, yeah, down there. Yeah. So, yeah, it depends. But, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. We have different...
Yeah, there's stuff that's different here than U.S.
I mean, I know. We all live in North America. We're back and forth over the border and everything. You wouldn't think that there'd be that much difference between Canadians and Americans when it comes to food. But there is. I mean, it may be not a major difference.
I mean, we have McDonald's and we have other fast food places, but...
Yeah.
We also have some unique places.
But we have a lot of different ethnic foods, especially in our area and around Toronto. You name it, you can get it there. Like Indian food here. Now, we don't know. We didn't get to experience Indian food that much in the States. We did go to an Indian place in Lexington. That's not what I would call Indian food. So I don't know. Stephanie could tell us more because I know Stephanie loves Indian food, and maybe in her area she's got a place that she loves to go to.
Stephanie says they have a French fry truck at the park and the beach in the summer.
Oh, okay. But they just have it sort of in the beach. So see, we have them everywhere. We have them at Canadian Tire. Yeah, like they're outside that, or outside of a Home Depot and things like that. They're everywhere around here. Canadians love their French fries. Yep, their chips. Drew says, I've not seen any chip trucks at outdoor events. Maybe that's a niche some enterprising young Canadians could fill. Send down the chip trucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you might not buy them because you're used to McDonald's fries. And
yeah,
these are all fresh cut fries. And
yep.
I don't know if you'd be into that.
No, they might not be the same. Of course, still taste like, well, they don't taste like McDonald's fries, but they're still good. They're French fries. Yeah. The one in Lexington wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good Indian food. We have one around me that's amazing. So Stephanie, the one that we went to in Halifax, how would you compare that one to the one you like to go to in your area? I'm curious about that because that was the one we went to in Halifax was pretty much authentic Indian food. It must have been because the people that were in there were dressed in saris. So it's a good place when you see native people, like native as in the culturally, what's the word I'm looking for? Real.
Yeah, so Colleen says, yeah, the one at Canadian Tire is divine.
Yeah, everybody loves those. Says, haven't seen any chip trucks in BC either. Huh, interesting. I don't know if we saw any when we were out in BC. I wasn't looking for them.
The one in Halifax was really good. So
yeah, because that was authentic. That is real Indian food. There. I mean, there are places even here where you can go and you're going to get Indian food, but it's
North American.
It's North American style. It's like Chinese food. Okay.
It's like one thing that makes it North American style is they'll use only white meat chicken. And real Indian food
uses dark meat, like thighs and stuff like that. Fry bread. Interesting.
Yeah, there is a fry bread that they have in. Remember that stuff we had at the art gallery? Forget what they called it.
Oh no, I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
there is one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Shannon says, if I walk in and 75% of the clientele are native to the cuisine I'm eating there, yeah, it's going to be good. Thrasher fries on Boardwalk in Ocean City, Maryland is very popular. Fresh cut and fried in peanut oil.
Mm-hmm.
In peanut oil. Interesting. Well, I don't know. I never thought about the oil they fry them in, so I suppose. Lois says, we have a restaurant here in Rainbow City, Alabama that only get fresh fish and lobsters that are on first Fridays have a truck. That on first Fridays have a truck. Yeah, well,
Well, yeah, it's just.
I'm not saying that there's like one is better than the other. What I'm saying is it's different. It's different. It's whatever you're used to.
I mean, every area is going to have their own different things that they get used to, right? So.
Oh, Texans love fresh cut fries with melted cheese and jalapenos. They're mostly served at sporting events, football and baseball. That sounds like a form of poutine, but it's not real poutine.
Bannock.
Oh, bannock. Oh, okay.
That's Mozzilla's Canadian, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, bannock is what I've been trying. I was thinking of.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember trying that. I didn't really care for it.
No.
It's kind of dried up and, I'm going to, I can never say. I'm going to, not Anguilla. It's, I know how you say it. Is it not
Antigua?
Antigua. In 2 weeks, and I'm anxious to eat Johnny Cakes.
Anguilla.
Never had Johnny Cakes.
Anguilla. I've never heard of Anguilla.
First Friday is a car show down Main Street of our town. Wonderful. Did they serve those with fries? I'm not sure what a car show has to do with food, but whatever. So what are you looking it up?
No, it was Anguilla. I was going to look it up.
I'm not sure how to say it. I've seen that, but I don't know how to say it. Now Walter's looking up that. But anyways, yep, food is whatever.
It's British territory.
Oh.
In the Caribbean. Never heard of that.
No. Well, I have. I've heard of it, but I just wasn't sure how to say it.
I thought it was Antigua.
That's what I thought it was. Anyways. Oh, fresh. Well, maybe we didn't have fresh. And I don't believe it was necessarily made by Indigenous people. What we had. It was some fly-by-night catering company. Anyways, that was selling it. So, and, well, anyways. So, yeah. So that was our food discussion today. Yep. And what we have for Walter's birthday. So, I think it's time for us to go. All this talk, I'm getting hungry and I got to eat mass quantities. Yeah. So, because tomorrow I won't be eating anything. Yeah, don't catch me later in the day tomorrow. I might not be.
Maybe you shouldn't eat anything, and then you won't have to purge.
Yeah, right. Yeah, purge, whatever. Yeah, it's gonna be a shitty day. Literally. Okay, so thanks everybody for dropping in and talking to us. And yep, remember this Thursday, February the 1st, 9 a.m. registration is open for the 10,000 bash. So I should be crazy by the end of that. Well, or more crazy than I am already. Okay, everybody, have a great week and we'll see you again soon. Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.
Bye, all.